AITA for walking out of my family's Christmas dinner and refusing to speak to my aunt ever again. All over a box of beat-up comic books my late dad left me. It was 1997, 8 months after my dad passed suddenly from a heart attack, and this was our first big family gathering since his funeral. I'd gone hoping for quiet comfort, not a screaming match that split my family down the middle, and I still can't tell if I was in the wrong. I'm 22, fresh out of community college, working part-time at a local indie bookstore in our small Ohio town. My dad, a mechanic who collected comics from the 1960s onward, raised me alone after my mom left when I was 7. Those comics were our whole world, every issue bagged, boarded, and dated with the day we'd read it together. The box was the only thing he specifically left me in his will, locked in his old metal tool chest. My Aunt Marge, 48, Dad's sharp-tongued younger sister, and a local elementary teacher, has always thought I was too soft, too stuck in the past, wasting my life on kid stuff. Her 16-year-old son Jake, my cousin, had recently gotten into comics, but had a habit of ruining every book he touched, folding spines, and leaving issues out in the rain. That Christmas, we crammed into Grandma's tiny ranch, linoleum sticky with eggnog, a tinsel tree glowing, a VHS of A Christmas Carol playing low, flip phones clipped to every adult's belt, beeping with holiday pages. Dessert had just been served, Grandma's famous pecan pie, the kind my dad used to beg for every Christmas. When Marge cornered me in the kitchen, her voice sharp over the sound of carols. She said Jake had been talking nonstop about my dad's comics, and that I should hand the whole box over to him that night. "You're a young woman. You don't care about this silly kid stuff," she said, waving her hand like the collection was garbage. "Jake's a boy. He'll actually appreciate them, not just let them rot on a shelf." I told her no, flat out, my throat tight, explaining that this was the only thing my dad had left me that was just ours, no one else's. She scoffed, calling me selfish and ungrateful, saying I was hoarding my dad's things from the family that loved him. By then, a few relatives had wandered in, and they started chiming in, muttering about how I was overreacting, how it was just comics, how I should be more giving. Jake slunk in behind his mom, grinning, and said I was just a sad loser clinging to a dead man's junk. I held my ground, even when Grandma sighed, and said I should keep the peace. Then Marge dropped the bomb. She'd already snuck out to my car while I was eating, jimmied the trunk lock with a screwdriver she'd swiped from Dad's old tool set, and dragged the box into the garage. My blood ran cold. I'd locked the car twice over, paranoid about that box since the day Dad died. I sprinted to the garage, my boots slapping on the cold concrete, and froze. The box was wide open on the floor, a handful of issues pulled out, and Jake was bent over my dad's original 1968 Amazing Spider-Man number 50, folding the spine back like it was a grocery store flyer. I screamed, snatching the book out of his hand so fast my nails scraped his knuckles, and shoved him back hard enough that he stumbled into a stack of Christmas decoration boxes. Marge flew at me, screaming that I'd attacked her son, but I didn't listen. I stuffed every comic back into the box, hugged it to my chest like a lifeline, marched through the house past staring relatives, and walked out to my car. It's been 6 months since that Christmas, and I haven't spoken to Marge or Jake since. Half my family still calls me a selfish, ungrateful brat. The other half says I did the right thing protecting what was mine. Grandma barely calls me anymore, and I haven't been back to her house since that night. I still read those comics every night, especially that tattered Spider-Man issue, now tucked safely under my pillow. That I know I protected the last piece of my dad I had left, but I can't stop wondering if I should have given in, handed over a few issues to keep the peace, instead of burning every bridge. So AITA.